From the 2015 season onwards, Orlando City Soccer Club will be rubbing shoulders with the biggest sides in the United States and Canada. For club president Phil Rawlins, it represents the culmination of several years' hard work.
When we started to speak with the MLS about 3 years ago now, they said to us there were three things that they wanted to see from us. Firstly was prove the marketplace. Second one was to have the right ownership group in place. And the third one was a downtown soccer-specific stadium. If we could get those three, or at least the plans in place for those three, then we were pretty much assured of a franchise. So we really set to work from day one on proving those three, and getting the stadium, getting the right ownership group together, and building the fan base and building the support locally. And we've done that, I think, very, very successfully over the last 3 years.
Rawlins moved to the USA from his native England 17 years ago. Until February this year, he served as a director at English Premier League side Stoke City, and that experience helped him to start up his own team, the Texas-based Austin Aztecs, in 2007. 3 years later, the club relocated to Orlando in Florida, sensing a more soccer-friendly atmosphere and significant potential for growth in a city with only one other major sports team, basketball's Orlando Magic. Thanks to his connections at Stoke, Phil was able to bring the club's former midfielder Adrian Heath to the USA, first as head coach of the Aztecs and subsequently in the same role at Orlando. The 53-year-old was an English League and FA Cup winner as an Everton player during the 1980s, and he set about instilling in his side an attractive, possession-orientated style of play modelled on top European sides Arsenal and Barcelona.
It's been a progression of everything since we got here. You know, in the beginning, the training ground wasn't very good, and we've gradually made that better to the stage where we are now, where we've got a beautiful training facility. The team has gradually got better as we've understood the league and understood the players and understood which colleges to go and look at certain players. So everything has gone in tandem, really. As the teams got better, the facilities have got better, the crowds have got better, so it's been a real gradual, steady incline, really.
Orlando City currently compete in the USL Pro League, the third tier of US soccer. In the 3 years that the league has been in existence, Orlando has twice won the Commissioner's Cup as regular season champions and were crowned overall USL Pro champions in both 2011 and 2013. In last year's championship game, 4 goals from on-loan Sporting Kansas City striker Dom Dwyer helped the side to a 7-4 victory over the Charlotte Eagles in Orlando's home stadium, the Florida Citrus Bowl. Goalkeeper Miguel Gallardo captained Orlando to that title.
I understand the infrastructure of the soccer here in the U.S. is different. There's no relegation or promotion here, but I believe that if there were, this club would have earned that a long time ago. I think we've done everything right on the pitch and off the field to be able to earn the right to be in the MLS. So now that we get the chance now, it's very exciting.
I don't think there's ever really been a more successful minor league franchise than the one we've built here in a short period of time, particularly when you measure it from the fan standpoint. We averaged last year just over 8,000 fans per game. That's the highest in minor league soccer anywhere outside of the MLS. Almost 21,000 fans at the championship game. You know, this is a hotbed of soccer and a hotbed of soccer support. We have great fans. They're noisy, they're loud, they're vibrant, they're engaged, they know the game. It's really them who have built this club. So when we say built, not bought, it's about building from the ground up, and everything we've done is to put what I would term a proper football club in place.
With the MLS on the horizon, Orlando City are preparing for attendances to rise even further in the coming years. As part of their agreement with Major League Soccer, the club is set to build a brand new $84 million stadium in downtown Orlando to cater for the increased demand. The stadium is set to be built just 1 block away from the Magic's Amway Center and is due to open for the start of the 2016 season. Gina Molinas is a member of the club's largest supporters group, the Ruckus.
I think for for supporters groups. It's about taking it to the next level. It's about owning your team and owning the responsibility of being the face and being that extra player on the pitch. And I think we're all ready. I think it's going to be an interesting growth period for us, and this year is going to be especially different because we're kind of out of our home in a new element. But I think that through all of the challenges that we have coming forward with us this season, it's going to better prepare us for 2015.
While both club and supporters are greatly looking forward to taking their place in the MLS next year, one group who are approaching the news with some trepidation are the players. With the USL Pro being 2 levels lower in the US soccer pyramid, the club are aware that they'll need to improve their squad if they want to compete with the nation's biggest sides. 28-year-old central defender Rob Valentino was one of 3 Orlando players included in the USL Pro's Team of the Year in 2013.
Some people have already signed for MLS, and there's a lot of us that haven't. So for us, it's a year trial to make sure that we put our stamp on this team and make our bid to MLS as well. So for the club, it's a great thing. For the fans, it's awesome. But us as players, we still have a lot of work cut out for us. You
get to like these people. These people have contributed from day one. These people have, wore their heart on the sleeve and given everything they've got for this club. But ultimately, I get paid to make decisions to make us better, not to be popular. And it's going to be harsh on 1 or 2 people, but all I look at the end of the day is what can we contribute, what can they contribute on the field? Are they going to help us to be successful? If they're going to help us to be successful, great, they'll come along with us. If they're not, the unfortunate part is then people have to be cut, and unfortunately, that's the way it is in soccer the world over.
Just 3 months after their own MLS announcement, Orlando discovered that they'd not be the only city in Florida hosting MLS games in the near future. In February this year, David Beckham, one of the most famous sportsmen on the planet, revealed that he too would be bringing a franchise to the state, with Miami the destination. Florida's previous dalliance with the MLS came around the turn of the century in the form of Miami Fusion and Tampa Bay Mutiny. Both teams folded after just a few seasons in the league. However, the landscape of US sport has changed dramatically in the intervening years, and soccer is becoming increasingly popular. Those in charge at Orlando are confident that the state will be big enough for 2 sides this time around, and had a friendly greeting for the former England captain upon hearing the news.
Yeah, a little friendly shot across the bows, never hurt anyone, and it was just welcoming David to our state, and we're the #1 soccer team in the state, and we intend to stay that way. It's always great for the game when you've got good rivalries. Again, we've seen that in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle, Vancouver, Portland, great rivalries, and I think we'll do exactly the same down here in Florida. It's great to have that, that infighting between the fans, between Miami and Orlando, and I know that the fans here in Orlando can't wait for the first game when we get to take on Miami and hopefully beat them.
Orlando City have come a long way in just a few short years, but now the hard work really begins. Joining the MLS will give the club an international profile, and they've already been linked with AC Milan's Brazilian forward Kaká, thanks partly to the former World Player of the Year's millionaire compatriot Flávio Augusto da Silva, who is Orlando's main financial backer. Top of the USL Pro again after 9 games of this season, Orlando are aiming to sign out of the league on a high before starting the next chapter in their history.
We're not going in to make up the numbers. We're going in to be competitive. We want to get in the playoffs the very first year. We don't see why we shouldn't. We know that's a stretch. Only one other team has done it, but we've always set our own standards and been measured by those standards. So we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to push to be the very, very best club we can be in North America. And then, from there, it's about creating a world brand. So being part of that journey, being part of that is it's fun every day when you wake up. So just enjoy it, I'm enjoying it.
The MLS had better be ready. Orlando City are a club on the rise.